Hello and welcome to the debate. I'm your host Sana Maqbool with you at PTV World. In today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the very important visit of the President of the Republic of Turkiye, Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And this is, of course, very, very important and integral to Pakistan, as, of course, we enjoy very deeply rooted historical brotherly relationship with Turkiye. And this is, of course, a very, very important partnership for Pakistan. And there are a number of opportunities and avenues that are going to be explored further in this two-day official visit with, of course, a lot of the foreign dignitaries and important leaders of the business community accompanying the president on this particular visit. And we have also seen that the agenda includes signing a number of MOUs in different sectors, as well as, of course, taking a look at the ways forward through the high-level Strategic Cooperation Council. And it's, of course, sitting down again for its seventh session. The important aspects, of course, in terms of how this relationship is going to proceed further in terms of the ways in which we're going to expand our bilateral trade, defense cooperation, and of course our alignment on various aspects on the geopolitical front are also very, very important. So we're going to be taking a closer look at what this means for both the countries and how this particular visit is going to help enhance this partnership in the future. For this and more, as always, in the studios, I've been joined by senior analyst Farrukh Pitafi and Raja Faisal. We've also been joined online by Professor Ahmet Uysal, Istanbul University, and we've also been joined by Mr. Karim, who's a research fellow, University of Birmingham. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us and being a part of the debate today. And Mr. Umar, I'm going to start with you in terms of how you view this particular partnership, and especially given the ways that, of course, we want to expand our relationship with brotherly countries like Turkey. We keep on talking about how to expand trade and investment and take these relationships forward. And while, of course, this is on the agenda, I want your take on how exactly we will be proceeding in that direction.
I think the relationship with Turkey is rooted in history, in traditions. It is such a multifaceted relationship that the current state of affairs of the bilateral relationship, I would say, is relatively less. It needs much more progress. It needs much more strengthening. And I think that considering the economic progress Turkey has made, its progress in the industrial sector, in the defense sector, Pakistan, even in the agriculture sector, in the hospitality sector, Pakistan can learn a lot, and Pakistan can should learn from Turkey. One other aspect which is very important that Turkey probably is the only state in the world where the Pakistani bilateral relationship is has no strategic or political or economic or whatever divergence. It converges on the state level, it converges on the government level, whichever government it is, and it converges on the people level. And this is something which is very rare in Pakistan's foreign policy outlook, where there is such a huge degree of convergence. And I guess this convergence needs to be translated into uh, political, economic, cultural ties and bondings. Still, there are a lot of such ventures there, but I guess that these visits they are the vehicle of fast tracking such connectivity, such connections and connectivities. And it's very interesting actually when I was reading the history of the relationship that even beyond the religious or conservative or secular binary in Turkey, the relationship with Pakistan had always been phenomenal. And you can say Turkey was, or Turkey now, had been a state that was always a friend of Pakistan within the traditional Western security infrastructure. And now Turkey and Pakistan have aligned interests, whether it's in the Middle East or Central Asia or South Asia or in the Indian Ocean now. I guess that if one has such alignment with the country, the on ground dynamics needs to be much better as we see them right now.
Absolutely. Professor Ahmed, I want your perspective also, particularly, of course, as somebody looking at this relationship from Turkey's perspective, and in terms of the ways in which we have seen it evolve and grow in the past years and decades, and also the areas in which you think there is still a lot of room for cooperation, and how integral this partnership and this relationship is for Turkey and the people of Turkey especially.
Yes, good evening first, and then congratulations on the Pakistani team. And I say Pakistan Zindabad
Thank you very
always.
much.
Thank you. And we have, very deep historical relations. I agree with Dr. Omar. And we don't see any glitches or hurdles before improving, a better partnership, better alliance, of everything. So, but I think there is still a gap that we need to do our homework to improve these relations on many levels. I think that on the security-wise, the relations are going very well on the diplomatic and other, international relations always say interest. If you build, your relations on mutual benefits, it is more sustainable. It is also stronger, and we have no reason to delay or kind of lag behind the desired level. We have, common culture. We cooperate on many grounds, and also there is a reception of Turkish people in Pakistan and Pakistani people in Turkey. Also, like we don't forget, the contribution of the Pakistani, or overall they used to call it Muslims of India, or the whole Indian subcontinent. We don't forget these, critical support in the very hard times. And I even personally suggested that Turkey should appreciate this more, like maybe creating a scholarship or something, just under this name of gratitude. I retweeted a couple of times. But the potential is there. We need to make use of it. And right now, I think this visit will mark another milestone. But of course, we need to follow up. We need to build the connection between, businessmen, between academia, between the TV channels, for example, media. Turkish series are very popular in Pakistan. Why not show some also Pakistani films or series? We need this kind of connection and contacts with each other. So there is potential. I think this debate, we don't expect also everything. For example, and from the officials, from the president or the ministers, also on the public level, we should work how, for example, to build a maybe joint business. What are the I'm personally, I'm in Istanbul and ready to introduce Pakistan to the Turkish public, and also the public is receptive, and I know Pakistan can offer a lot. They have a great mind power, well educated, people, young people, and also serving around the world. I was living in Qatar and also see a lot of bright minds there, and we don't lack anything. And now, especially in the time of chaos with the Trump and the Gaza issue, war of Ukraine and Russia, we have a chaotic world that is affecting everybody. We are either gonna affect these developments or will be affected by these developments. So the partnership between Turkey and Pakistan will be very critical. I think this visit also will help to underline such intentions, also such actions. We should go beyond, as Dr. Omar said, we need to go beyond the good intentions we need to perform right now. And there is an opportunity, and there is also need for this. Yes.
Right, absolutely. Faisal, I want your perspective on the ways in which we can enhance this partnership. And one of the areas that we've seen it exist and grow previously is, of course, defense cooperation, and of course, the fact that there's a lot of arms supplying also that comes in from Turkey. And I want your take in terms of how that can actually be expanded. We've done a lot of exercises. We've also, of course, moved on with different ways of trainings for personnel regarding, of course, security. But I want your perspective on how that can actually be strengthened in the face of embargoes that both the countries have also faced, and how we can actually move towards more self-reliant means of defense cooperation.
That's an excellent question, Sana. And obviously, when it comes to embargoes, of course, we know that there are certain avenues that have been seen by Pakistan and Turkey at the same time in terms of embargoes. But at the same time, if both of the countries, they are aligned with each other right now, of course, I know, as Professor Ahmet has highlighted and Umar highlighted, both of them, they highlighted about there are certain avenues this relation can be further enhanced and further improved. But looking at it right now, I mean, it is amazing that Pakistan and Turkey, both of them, they have bilateral relations, including, of course, the defense relations. Very recently, Pakistan's naval forces, they have seen obviously collaboration with Turkey, and Turkey's contribution in that is the most valuable. Same is the case with Pakistan's Air Force, same is the case with the military as well. And when it comes to procurement, there is a lot of procurements, defense related procurements that has been done from Turkey or with the contribution of Turkey, which is remarkable in recent past. And of course, looking at our last 20 years since Pakistan has been actively fighting against terrorism, of course, we know that Pakistan has excelled in counter-terrorism, and then in that context, both of the countries, they have in past conducted the joint exercises related to counter-terrorism as well, and the defense exercises as well. Very recently, of course, our Pakistan Navy, it conducted Aman exercise, in which, of course, Turkey was a pivotal part of it. And when it comes to further, in terms of cultural relations, I mean, Sana, Professor Ahmed has rightly pointed out, and he started his speech with congratulating Pakistan with cricket. And of course, we know that Turkey is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to football. A few of their players, when they don't get a space in their own team, they go to European teams and they find the space in there. One of their names is Masood Ozil. I mean, I remember one of my cousin, when he had a son, he actually named him Ozil just because of one reason, that Masood Ozil was his favorite player. When it comes to, my own son, when he was very little, he used to ask me for Ben 10 shirts or Ben 10 costumes or Superman costumes. As soon as he got to, watching Earthrul, he started asking for Earthrul costumes, which is a very positive change. Of course, our kids are getting intact with, our common history. Of course, I would consider it common history. And when it comes to, many other avenues of culture, of language, of our, mutual sort of contributions in past, yes, it's never ending story. And when it comes to whenever there was a calamity in Pakistan or Turkey, Pakistan and Turkey, vice versa, they always stand shoulder to shoulder with each other, be it the earthquake of Turkey or floods in Pakistan or earthquake in Pakistan. Always we have been standing shoulder to shoulder to each other, and I think that's how it should be. Now, when President Erdogan, when he's coming to Pakistan, I already know that there is a group of businessmen that are coming to Pakistan. Of course, Pakistan is seeking FDIs. Direct investment Pakistan is seeking in different sectors, including IT, including agri-tech as well, agriculture. And then all of these sectors, of course, they will be seeing that both of the countries, they would be having mutual contributions. And I am expecting that this time around, Turkey's investors, they will be interested in investing in Pakistan as well. And one last thing, Sana, when we talk about the security situation, we know that Pakistan is facing a volatile country like Afghanistan, from where we still are having ISIS Khorasan, and then BLA, BLF, and all of these elements, rogue elements. They are, of course, a threat to Pakistan. Same is the case with Turkiye as well. Turkiye is fighting against terrorism. Turkiye is fighting against, ISIS, and then they are fighting against the Kurd fighters as well. And that contribution from both of the countries is always there. And I think there will be a lot to talk about geopolitics as well. Of course, there would be certain avenues where Turkiye would be seeking assistance from Pakistan, and Pakistan has already, have always sort of welcomed the helping hand from Turkiye when it comes to the security situations. And one last thing, Sana, and that is related to Central Asian republics.
Yeah.
Central Asian republics are a sort of a bridge that can be called as a bridge in between Turkiye and Pakistan, and I think this is very important. The connectivity should always be enhanced from that side as well, from of course all of these Central Asian republics, then Azerbaijan, and then Azerbaijan is as brotherly country to Pakistan as Turkiye is, and I think this kind of connectivity as well as the better relationships, that needs to be further enhanced.
Right, absolutely. And Farrukh, we've talked about previously how trade between both the countries is about $1 billion, and there seems to be plans to boost that to $5 billion. But in terms of the ways in which we have talked about how deep and historic these ties are and how much potential exists in various areas, this is something that's long due as well. In terms of how we're actually going to achieve that and what areas and sectors we can actually work upon, and the ways in which this can happen while we also talk about less dependency on the Western front, or the dollar currency was also something that was previously discussed. What are the ways and mechanisms or the framework potentially that can exist to allow that between Pakistan and Turkey?
Right, Sana, thank you very much for the question. First of all, because Professor Ahmed actually said Pakistan Zindabad, so I'm going to say Turkey Zindabad. Turkey. By the way, I'm a person of old habits, so if somehow end up calling it Turkey, no disrespect meant, it is an old habit. But Pakistan, Turkey, friendship Zindabad as well. Regarding the two countries, Sana, you will allow, I hope, to let me talk about the history as well, because Professor Ahmed also mentioned Khilafat movement and afterwards as well. So I was thinking how to actually top it. And Faisal just mentioned Central Asia, and usually it is said that Central Asia is a cradle of Pakistani civilization. So whence came the impulse of that civilization, Sana? It came from Turkey, Turkiye. And why am I saying this? Babur, the founder of Mughal Empire, actually wrote the book Tuzke Babari. It was written in Turkish. So the history is really, really long, and it's a beautiful country. I'm sure you frequent that country also. Beautiful people, most hospitable, and I've always felt that while it is more Western in appearance, but I am always in second home whenever I'm there, and I fell in love with Istanbul. So Istanbul is a city which has such an old history, and it is a remarkable, everything is preserved, and you can see various layers of history as well. Now, your question was regarding trade ties between the two countries. You're right. Trade volume at this moment, I have numbers from 2023. I'm sure there must be more latest numbers, but because these are the ones which are available on our Commerce Ministry's website, I'm going to use that. In 2023, the trade volume was a little less than $1 billion. But amazingly, when it comes to trade between the two countries, despite the fact that Pakistan's exports are mostly raw commodities without value addition, for example cotton, But Pakistan has trade surplus when it comes to Turkey and Pakistan. Turkey is a powerhouse of industrial growth. We have seen that whatever we import from there is essentially, with huge value addition. So we need to learn a lot from Turkey as well. When you were talking about trade, when you were talking about defense ties, remember that whenever Pakistan's F-16s need a midlife upgrade, MLU, it usually takes place in Turkey. And last time it was done there. There is also distant rumble or mention of Pakistan also participating or becoming a part of the Thai Khan project, which is a stealth, fifth generation stealth bomber. So I hope Pakistan also plays a role in that, because it is going to be one cutting edge technology that Pakistan can benefit from. When it comes to improving the quality, Sana, one thing is for sure. This delegation, high-level delegation that is coming, it has businessmen as well. What we have to do is establish B2B connections as well, because usually Pakistan ends up talking G to G, government to government.
Yeah.
What we need is encouraging businesses, especially from our side, that they can go out, they can reach, study the market, and then add value according to that market. Because Pakistan still is a little bit behind when it comes to working the markets and understanding them and adding value. Regarding, once again, I want to actually go back to history and then culture. I was looking at history of Pakistan-Turkey cooperation from Sito Center to elsewhere. Every time we have seen Pakistan and Turkey are simpatico and at a very visceral level. So that relationship is going to continue. When Professor Ahmet was talking about their dramas being popular, your dramas are so popular that, in one of the series about Ayubi, Sultan Ayubi, Pakistan became a co-producer, and 25% cast was from Pakistan, and it has been very, very popular series. So you are so dear to us, Professor Ahmed, your country is so dear that we have started becoming you, so to speak, or being part of that legacy.
Right. Mr. Umar, I want your perspective also on the ways in which there is a lot of potential on the geopolitical front. We're aligned on a lot of views, including, of course, what is going on in Gaza, generally in the Middle East, and of course the issue of Kashmir. There is, of course, a lot of cooperation on the fact that there is the issue of Islamophobia and others, of course, that concern the Muslim nations, and then, of course, the potential ways of cooperation in countries including Syria. So I want your take in terms of what we can do on this front when we talk about our bilateral cooperation.
I think the one very important development that has happened in the last few years is that the Middle Eastern political situation has changed, and the sort of struggle or tension that was there before has calmed down. And the relationship between Gulf countries and Turkey, they have improved a lot. And now they are on a very good footing. And I guess this gives an incentive, an added incentive to Pakistan to further strengthen ties with Turkey, and also the previously floated trilateral cooperation agreements or trilateral engagement projects. They can actually now go ahead. And in this regard, I think right now, because of the situation in Gaza, the changes, the security changes, the political changes in Syria, and also the sort of instability that has been going on in Afghanistan. And we can never forget the fact that India, Pakistan's neighbor, is always hostile towards Pakistan. So all of this actually puts the Turkey-Pakistan relationship in a very uh, very important frame of reference. And the strategic ties within the defense sector, they need to be backed up with activity in the diplomatic sphere. I mean, we know that there is already a strategic cooperation council between the two states, but I guess that this can be enhanced to include some sort of a bilateral diplomatic forum where both sides can come together and exchange their views, and and also to share their threat assessment, their political perceptions. Like, for instance, Pakistan probably should enhance its engagement with the current government in Syria, because I think this is what apparently the Turkish position is right now. So there is this adds into the diplomatic momentum going on. Similarly, I can see already happening that on the Gaza situation, Pakistan is has been part of the effort to raise the voice of Palestinians. And before, what was the problem? That the Gulf states were on one plane, and Pakistan and some other states, they probably had a bit of a divergence. So that luckily and fortunately has ended. So now
Right. I'm going to move on to Professor Ahmed with reference to areas in which we can actually work towards more tech transfer, more indigenous production, and in the ways that we can collaborate on capacity building and training programs, and bringing forward the youth of both the countries. And you're, of course, part of the university as well. So I want your take in terms of how we can actually do that collaboration in terms of working towards tech transfer in both the countries, and then also empowering the youth to work towards R&D and more indigenization of products.
Yes, the youth are very critical in production, in training. We need to train the youth for dual or maybe triple languages, for English. But as I always recommend to my students, to learn Urdu. I said, you don't know you underestimate the power of Urdu language. It's our language, as our guest said. We are becoming like the other. We are the same. We are the same people. And I was in a football match, and because also there is a sports today. Three kids were sitting in front of me. I took their picture and shared it with their permission, of course. Shared it on the Twitter, and I said, guess where are these kids from? And everybody said from Turkey or Uzbekistan or Turkish countries. I said they are our brothers from Pakistan. They are little brothers, because we look like each other, even though some are dark color. We have also light and dark color, but the color doesn't matter. It's the essence and the brotherhood that Islam ties together. So we are one, and we are, getting to know each other better. This is also very good, and we need to fill the gap very quickly. We are living in the age of globalization, internet, social media, everything. People know each other. The communication is very fast, and we should not delay. We should, especially, we should prepare the young generation. Today we have a language gap. Even with the Arab world, I'm saying the same thing. The next generation should not have this problem. They should either speak Turkish or English or Arabic, Urdu, and everything. So after English, I said you need to learn one Eastern language, and Urdu, Arabic, and some other sometime. But I mentioned Urdu and Arabic as the strongest alternative language after English. So the young generation should be prepared with engagement. We can have, of course, the universities should play a role to tie these. Everything is ready, actually. The good intention, the possibilities, but we don't invest in them. Like history departments, we should have. We do have similar programs with the European universities. We have joint universities, for example, with some European countries. Almost all major countries have joint universities in Turkey, and we should do the same, like Turkish Pakistani university, named after somebody else, maybe a common figure, and then train 2 years here, 2 years there. Also, like history, international relations, business, yeah, and they should command the language so they don't feel distance. And in the area of tourism, there is a huge potential of Turkey, also known for tourism, but Pakistan has a good potential also. Should inform the Turkish public. Also, Turkish people, they like to travel. They go to Europe, Egypt, or other places, even sometime Africa, and or even Latin America. Why they should go to Pakistan and explore or discover many good places. And I know the hospitality is there, academic field, military, security wise, economic ties should be a lot more.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Ahmed, for joining us, and thank you very much, Karim, for joining us. Unfortunately, we don't have time anymore, but thank you everyone, Farrukh and Faisal, for joining us in the debate, and we'll now see you tomorrow.